This is a great honor for every fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm honored to be in the NFL.
What can I say? Mamba out.
How's everybody doing? It's your boy Jay McLovin along with Gonzo and Tony here on the afternoon show. If you like our day's content, make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. Those subscribes really do help us get the content out to you all across the board. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn off the notifications if you don't want to be notified. But we'll certainly appreciate that. Today is Veterans Day. So to all my brothers and sisters that have served in the military in the past and in the future and the present, man, much love. And thank you for what you do for the country. It really is freedom ain't free. It comes a price, and somebody's paying that price so that we can do what we do. And I have lost lots of really good soldiers and friends in combat. And without them, I wouldn't be where I am. And I just want to say thank you, not only to the veterans, but to the veterans' wives and children. I don't think a lot of people understand how much of a sacrifice the kids, that don't have their dad around all the time because he's out there doing the job. That takes a big toll on them, as well as the mother who's raising the kids and doing what she has to do to take care of the household. So again, thank you to all the wives and all the children out there that are supportive of our veterans and our active duty members, man. We love you and we appreciate you. Without further ado, Tony, it's all you, baby.
Yeah, man, let's jump right into it. We had a really exciting Monday Night Football game last night. Not a whole lot of yardage. Both teams' defense played pretty great. Both offenses struggled. Philadelphia got the win in the end. I believe it was 10-7, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Chris, your thoughts on this game? What do you think about the Monday Night Football game last night?
It was a defensive battle. Neither offense could really score points. Philadelphia offense had a little more success than what Green Bay was. Green Bay has to figure out their offensive line, and then they got to figure out a way to be able to get the ball down the field. They got to open their offense up. They're trying to do short little passes. Well, they can't even protect for those, and then they get a penalty and it ruins a drive. The way they're trying to score right now is have 16, 17 play drives all the way down the field and score. And that's hard to do in the NFL on a consistent basis. And I mean, if you look at their last three losses, their defenses gave up like 10, 13, and 16 points, and they've lost. So like their defense is playing their asses off. Like most games, if your defense only gives up 10 points, you're going to win. And to have their last three losses, their defense hasn't given up more than 15 points. And they've lost all three of those games. So yeah, they got to figure out something offensively. Jordan Love is just so inconsistent. You watch him one game, he'll look like he's progressed and looking like maybe an all-pro quarterback, and then you watch him the next couple games, and he looks like a guy that might be a backup. Like he's just so up and down. He hasn't been able to find that consistency at all. And they got to figure it out offensively because they got a great defense, but they can't score right now. They can't score no points.
Yeah, Jay, your thoughts on last night's game?
Yeah, I'm pretty much echoing a lot, I think, of what Gonzo's already said. This game, every game means a lot to every team. All right, I don't think anybody goes says that this game doesn't mean something. But, in the case of Green Bay, I feel like this game really means more. It meant more for them to try to get that win than it was for Philly, just simply for the fact that Green Bay is literally teetering on the edge of not being in the playoffs. If they continue to play at the way in which they're playing, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, they're like seventh in the standings, and they are literally like Carolina is literally nipping at their heels to take that spot from them.
Well, you got a couple other teams, Jay.
Yeah, 49ers as well.
Well, you got 49ers, and then the Bears only got. I think the Bears is only like 6-3 also. So right now, Green Bay would be in because of that tie. But Yeah,
As
they're
of right now, yeah.
yeah as of right now. Yeah, as if the seasoning right now, they'd be in. But yeah, they've got a tough battle. Matter of fact, I've got a question on that here in a little bit on the hot seat. So about Green Bay and San Francisco. So
Yeah,
um,
I just felt like, it was interestingly enough. I know we talked about it last night on the evening show, which if you haven't caught the evening show, check us out. It's Mondays and Fridays, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. But we talked about it last night where, the kicker come out and he's trying to kick a 64-yard field goal and swirling winds. And I got to tell you, man, from what I understand, McManus had I didn't realize he wasn't fully 100% healthy. I understand he was been nursing that leg, and I don't know, man. I mean, do you really want to give a field goal shot? With a guy who's nursing a leg in Lambeau during the swirling winds? I think I probably would have taken at least one shot with the Hail Mary and see what I could have got out of that. Because with 5 seconds left, you're either doing a Hail Mary or a field goal, swirling winds. Neither one of them have high odds. But at least I'm going to put the hands of my quarterback and let's see what we can do. So I don't know. That was kind of my big takeaway. That and the defenses played great, but neither one of the offenses, Tony, played good. Both of them offenses were struggling that whole damn game.
Yeah, I agree with you. And let me ask Chris in particular, and you too, Jay. Do you think that Green Bay, because of the inconsistency at quarterback, and they have trouble going down the field, that they've got to establish the run to help open up the offense? If they don't establish the run, that they could be in big trouble. Chris, what do you think? Do you think that's what they have to do, or?
Yeah, I think they got to get the run going, but I think they got to get their offensive line figured out as well.
Yeah,
their offensive line hasn't been good at all this year for the most part. So they got to get that figured out. Cat, I'm about ready to knock your fucking head off. But anyway,
again, we fully support PETA. We don't abuse any kind of cat abuse, but he's just being silly. You got to put that out there, Chris. You never know. I don't want PETA on your doorstep.
A bitch attacks my hand again. You're going to see me be silly.
Get your hand on that pussy, Chris.
I guess no. I'm just minding my own business. I'm over here getting
that pussy too much for you. Oh Lord, here we go. Now he's all choked up.
Oh shit! I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Let's move on. I've got some hot seat questions, and Jay, you brought up about where Green Bay's at, and that's kind of the question I have. The first one is, who makes the playoffs between Green Bay, the Bears, and San Francisco?
I got to be honest with you. At San Francisco, they have their own injuries. Yes. And Green Bay clearly has injuries. That offensive line, I think they got one or two of their players on the offensive line that are actually down with injury. So right now, it's looking like, man, I think Carolina has a good, strong case to push up. I haven't looked at their schedule yet. That's the only thing that concerns me with Carolina is really their schedule.
The only thing with Carolina is I think they're 5-5, so they are. There's still a way to go, but Green Bay still have like a game and a half on them. So yeah, Carolina's got a shot, but I think San Francisco would be the one that's out right now behind Green Bay, and I think the Bears might be in front of Green Bay now. I think because they have 6 wins.
They are. They're 6-3 and they're 5-3. But here's the thing. So Carolina actually they have Atlanta. They still got to play Atlanta. And I think it's going to be in Atlanta. But I think it's going to be neck and neck. And then they got San Francisco, that'd be a huge game for them. And then they got the Rams, which that's going to be hard. Then they got New Orleans, which they should get the win there. Then they got Tampa twice and Seattle.
Yeah, that's not easy.
And I think with Tampa's injuries, it's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard heel for Carolina.
Yeah,
but it's possible.
Yeah, I think Carolina's. Yeah, it's possible, especially if they can run the football. When they're running, they got stopped. New Orleans stopped them running the football, and that's why Carolina lost. Honestly, Chris, what do you think? What teams are going to be out there maybe right now? If you're looking at the NFC East, still got a long way to go. But what two teams do you think might be in? What two teams in that 6-7 spot? You've got the Bears, you got San Francisco, you got Green Bay, you got Carolina. What teams? A couple teams are going to be out. What do you think?
I think San Francisco will get in, and then it's going to come down. I think between the Bears and the Packers for the other spot. And right now, if the Packers have to figure out what they're going to do on offense since they lost Tucker Kraft.
Mhm.
It's a big loss.
He was their offense, and now they don't have him, and they can't score no points. So as of right now, I'd have to probably say 49ers and the Bears would be the two teams I think will probably be the last two spots.
Yeah, I agree because the 49ers, they still got to go to Arizona. They did beat Arizona last go around, but now they got Arizona again, which you all know that defense in Arizona is pretty tough. Then they got Carolina, and then they get a couple of easy ones, right? Cleveland, Tennessee, but then they got to go through you guys, and then they got to end it up with Chicago. But I do think that their schedule is a little bit better than what Carolina has.
Yeah, I agree.
So I can see what you're saying, Chris.
Yep, I agree with you guys. My next question was, I'll go to Jay first. What's wrong with the Buffalo Bills? I mean, who would have thought the Bills would be where they're at right now? Same way with Kansas City, but let's talk about Buffalo right now. What's wrong with the Buffalo Bills?
For me, it's all about that run defense and the lack thereof. I just think that run defense. I think the defense is ultimately what's going to hamper Buffalo. I think they're okay on the offensive side of it. I don't have an issue with the offensive side, but that defensive side, especially when we looked at Miami and the fact that they could not stop Ashney for nothing, and really, you would think with Miami and the struggles that Tua has had, that it would be they'd be very one-dimensional, that they could really focus it a little bit more on Ashney to stop that run. And the fact that they couldn't, and the fact that they had no answer for it, I think ultimately that's what kills them, is that run defense.
Yeah, I kind of agree. You got to start there. I think the offense can be good, but I think it goes through if the running game don't get it started, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think Buffalo has a number one receiver. I don't think they really have a go-to guy, and I think them guys can be covered. So if the run don't open up the passing game, I think they have issues. They can have issues there. But if their defense plays well, their offense is probably good enough to go a long way. But again, man, their defense is still an issue, and I don't know. It's been 2 or 3 years now, and they still ain't really got it fixed. Chris, what do you think?
Can I say one super thing just on that real quick? What you were talking about, the run defense. Not only can they not stop the run, but it also allows the other team to chew up the clock. Yeah. And the more they chew up the clock, that takes away opportunities that you can get your offense back on the field. So I really think with that run defense really affects two different things simultaneously. Chris?
Yeah, their biggest thing, they got to stop the run on defense, and then the games that they struggle is when they can't run the ball. When they get James Cook going, their offense looks totally different. In the games they don't get James Cook going, their offense struggles. But they got to fix that. They got to figure it out on defense. You can't give up the rushing yards they're giving up every game and go win consistently in the NFL. Like Jay said, time of possession for one, and the other teams are going to get so many more plays than you. So you have to be able to stop the run, especially the way football is being played now, is because teams are trying to run a lot of these teams are trying to run the ball more. Like if you look at a team like Indianapolis, they're going to try to run the ball. San Francisco, they want to run the ball. A lot of these teams want to get the run going to open up for the pass. Now these defenses, they got to be able to stop that run. If you can't stop the run, like, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, guys, my last hot seat question for today. It's a 3-part one. I'll go first, because you guys will have to think about this a little bit. It's your top 5 NFC teams, your top 5 AFC teams, and then your overall top 5. I'll go first in all 3 categories to give you guys time to think, because of course I had time to think about it. In the NFC, guys, it was really hard for me for number 1 and 2 because of the Rams and Seattle. I just give because of the Rams have been up there in the last couple of years a little more than Seattle. I give them the number 1 spot, but I've got Seattle number 2 in the NFC. I went with Philadelphia 3. They are the defending champs. Their defense still looks good. Been a little bit more consistent than Detroit. I got Detroit at 4, and then I have Tampa Bay at number 5. That's my NFC. My AFC, I've got the Colts, and I know I'm a homer, but I really think right now, 19 games in, the Colts so far have been the best team in the AFC. So they're number 1. I got New England at 2. Then it got tough. It got pretty tight between the teams. I went with Denver at 3, and then I went with the Chargers at 4, and then I got a tie for 5, a 3-way tie with Buffalo, KC, and it's going to sound weird, but the Baltimore Ravens, who have won 3 straight, and they've got their quarterback back. So I've got them 3 tied. Which who would have thought at this time, at the start of the season, that them 3 teams would be a tie for number 5, on anybody's list, because a lot of people thought they were the favorites. So, and they still could be. Who knows? I mean, we still got a lot of games left. My overall, I went with the Rams 1. I went with Seattle 2. I went with the Colts 3, New England 4, and Denver 5. Denver and Philadelphia was pretty close for me. Detroit's been inconsistent. I've been a little bit disappointed in Detroit. Don't mean that they can't right the ship and win the NFC, but I'm just going by what I've seen so far this year. So, my overall is Rams, Seattle, Colts, New England, and Denver. Jay, you want to go next?
Yeah. By the way, I just kind of go. We talked about yesterday. Interesting about your top 5 is that a majority of that top 5 was NFC.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And overall,
Am I right? Am I on your overall top 5? I think you had 3 NFC.
No, I only had 2. But I had them at the top. I had the Rams and Seattle at the top, and then I went with Colts, New England, and Denver. I went with.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I went with Denver over Philadelphia and Detroit because I just think that they've been a little more consistent right now.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
But it was close. I mean, you could have very easily went with Philadelphia, Detroit in that 5th spot, and that would have given the edge to the NFC. But Denver is leading their division. Philadelphia's leading their division too. But they haven't looked as good as I expected. But then again, hey, they're still up there. They're still leading their division. So
yeah, that Green Bay game surely didn't look.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get it. No, on mine. It's not too far different from yours. And on the AFC side of it, I do have the Colts in the number 1 spot. I just feel like they're the most well-balanced team right now, and they have experience on that team, which I think is kind of where New England is still gathering up in their players is that experience, because a lot of their players are actually drafted. So that's kind of where I put it. It's just more the experience level. But I do have Indianapolis number 1. I am going with New England at number 2. I got Denver at 3. And then I got Denver at 3. And then I got Ravens at 4. And I think that the Ravens could move up, and that as they continuously go towards the end of it. But right now I got them at 4. And then at 5, I probably, five is where it gets kind of hard for me. I probably would put it between the Chargers and Buffalo as a tie at 5, because I feel like it's too hard to distinguish between the 2 of them. So I'm going to give them right now both at 5, at least where we are currently. On the NFC side of it, I'm going to go. I definitely think right now I'm going to stay with Seattle at number 1. I just like what that team is doing. Again, it comes from a well-balanced side of it, and I like how that team, even when their offense isn't performing, that defense comes up and tears it up. So right now I got Seattle at 1. I do got Philly at 2. I do got the Rams at 3. And then now it gets a little more difficult. I'll probably put Detroit at 4. And then I'm going to put a tie between Tampa and Chicago. Tampa and Chicago, but I think right now, and the only reason I got a tie right now between Tampa and Chicago is because I think Tampa is still dealing with those injuries, and I think that's what's hampering them.
Yep.
But we'll see how that turns out overall. But overall, top 5, man, I'm gonna go with Seattle. I just think that's the number 1. I'm gonna go Colts at number 2, and then at number 3, I'm gonna go Philly. and this is where this is where it starts to get really crazy. Number 4, I'm gonna go the Rams, and then probably number 5. I do like what New England is doing, so I'm gonna go 5 New England.
Okay. Chris, what about you? What about you for the NFC, AFC, and overall?
All right. NFC, I got Rams, then Seattle, then I'll go Detroit Lions, Philadelphia Eagles, and the San Francisco 49ers. Would be my top 5 in the NFC. AFC, Colts, Patriots, Chargers, Chiefs, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Don't believe in the Broncos, huh?
Too inconsistent. Bo Nix sucks for 3 quarters every game. That's going to catch up to him. Only quarter he's been playing good is the fourth quarter. I know the Chiefs' record isn't great, but they've been playing better. The Ravens have been, since they get Lamar back, their defense is starting to play better. I think they're, but yeah. So I mean, my top 5 is a little different because a couple of teams don't have there's teams that have better records than them. But I think by the end of the season, it's going to be a little different.
Can I ask you a question? I just want to ask one. The 49ers one. I was down with everything, but the 49ers would threw me for a loop with the 49ers. I just want to hear your reasoning for 49ers.
Because they're going to get healthy. They're going to get Brock Purdy back. Mac Jones has been playing good, but they're going to get some of their guys back, and they get their guys back, and they don't have that. They had one of the easier schedules this year in the NFL.
That's true.
The schedule wise, so yeah, they still have a couple tough games, but with their schedule, Kyle Shanahan knows how to win ball games. Like they had their starting quarterback most of the season, and they've still been right there, and they've only really had one bad game. So yeah, I still think the 49ers are a good football team.
I'll tell you, man, that Mac Jones, having Mac Jones in their team at that backup spot was really the saving grace, I think, for the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. Did you do your overall, Chris?
Overall, I have Colts, Rams, Seattle, Patriots, and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. I think we all did pretty good. I mean, a little switching around a little bit, but it's all close right now. And, still got around half the season left, maybe a game under. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Okay, guys, let's switch over to some college football. I'm just going to give some scores for a few games real quick, and we're going to talk about a few of the games from this past weekend. Number 1, Ohio State beat Purdue 34-10. Number 2, IU 27, Penn State 24. First time IU's ever beat Penn State at Penn State. Number 3, Texas A&M defeated Missouri 38-17. I think that game could have been a little different if Missouri would have had their second string quarterback. I think it could have been a lot better game. But that quarterback he's a rookie, and it was his first start, so it was pretty overwhelming for him. Number 4, Alabama defeated LSU 20-9. LSU starting quarterback got benched in that game. Georgia 41, Mississippi State 21. Texas Tech 29. There's number 8 Texas Tech 29. Number 7 BYU 7. Number 9 Oregon 18. Number 20 Iowa 16. That was a really good game. Yeah. Number 10 Notre Dame 49. Navy 10. Wake Forest defeated number 14 Virginia 16-9, and California defeated number 15 Louisville 29-26, and Vandy, number 16 Vandy, defeated Auburn. I believe it was 45-38. That was a crazy game. I believe if I remember right, it went in overtime. So some pretty good college games last week. The first one I wanted to bring up, let's bring up the IU game, IU Penn State. I know Penn State ain't had the record that everybody expected. They fired a coach. A lot of things went wrong. They did have their backup quarterback playing, but this was his third or fourth game. He played pretty well. I mean, all things considered, I really was impressed with Penn State's defense in the second half. I think it was still a big win for IU. I know a lot of people expected them to beat them by 13, 14, 15 points or whatever. But, I mean, first time that they beat them, IU had some injuries too on the offensive line, and one of the best receivers in college football, the plays for IU, he was out also. But IU got the win, had to come back. They had 2 miraculous catches on that last drive, especially the last one. So a big win for IU. And I tell you what, Wisconsin got an upset win this week in the Big Ten, and IU plays Wisconsin this week. So got to be ready for that. But it is at home. I think that'll help things some. So, Jay, your thoughts on the IU Penn State game?
Yeah, it was a good game. I like how, Penn State in that fourth quarter, for the most part, it was IU scoring. I think it was 17-7, I think, going into the third.
Yep.
And then IU or Penn State came back. Ultimately, IU got it in the end. Games like this, where, it comes down to one catch in the back of the end zone that had to be reviewed. It was so close. Those are the nail biters. And it's not like Indiana could afford a nail biter, but at the same time, they came back. They showed the resilience. They fought back, and they did. It's always the fight, Tony. That's what I look for in a team. Not every game is going to be pretty. Not every game is going to be a blowout. Not every game is going to be, okay, well, they didn't do this or that, And I think Chris does a good job of reminding me of that sometimes, because I know I kind of get like that in the chat groups. And but he's absolutely right. You have to look at the whole game for what it is. And this is just one of those games where IU was put to a test, and they rose to it, and they got it in the end. And they're going to need that as you get further, or as we get into the playoffs, you start going through the playoff scenarios. You don't know you're really going to be fully matched up with, or what have you. And you all know playoff football, man. Playoff football is playoff football. And they're going to need that fight. They're going to need that tenacity. They're going to need that grit. Grit is a hell of a thing that some teams have it and some teams don't. I think sometimes games that put you to the limit give you that grit when you're able to overcome it. And so that's one of the big things. What is the heart of this team? What's the level of this team? Signetti, he did a good job keeping his, even when they came back in that fourth, keeping them poised, keeping them together, reminding them, the things. And ultimately, this was a good test for IU that, and to see if they can overcome it. And they did.
Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a good win. IU played pretty good. Played real good in that first half, other than could have had more points. But the offense was moving the ball. Second half, we had trouble moving the ball. Defense played pretty well. Gave up the one. We had that turnover that gave up the touchdown. But then we came back, and after the offense not being able to do nothing the whole second half, Mendoza made 3 or 4 great throws on that drive, and then we had 2 great catches made on that drive. Our offense finally found rhythm on that drive, I mean, it was a good win. Like a lot of people don't want to hear it because they just want to look, because IU football, people aren't used to them being in the conversation like we have been the last 2 years. But if you look at it, IU has three real good wins now on the road, and that matters. Like when you're on the road, that's a whole different ballgame. They beat number 7 Oregon on the road by 10 points. You beat Penn State. Yes, you can say their record ain't no good, but that's still a team full of 4 and 5 star recruits that was projected to be playing for a national championship. That's a good football. Like there's good players on that team, and they've been playing their best ball the last 2 weeks. People don't want to talk about last week. Penn State and Ohio State was 17-16 at half, and that game was at Ohio State. So to go into Penn State and get a win like they did, that's a big road win. And then Iowa, beating Iowa in Iowa, is also a big road win as well. Look what it took for Oregon to beat Iowa in Iowa the other day. So I mean, we've proven that we can go into hostile environments on the road, and that's something that this team is different than last year. We didn't get none of those moments last year where we got tested or went in a hostile environment like that until we played Ohio State toward the end of the season. We didn't get none of those moments. This year we've went in a hostile environment to Oregon, where Ohio State ain't been able to go win, where a lot of these teams, Penn State ain't been able to go win. A lot of these teams haven't been able to. We were able to do that. We went into Iowa, which is a tough place to play. So I think this team is a lot more prepared for the college football playoffs this year. And I'm just hoping we finish it out strong the next couple of weeks and get to play Ohio State in that Big Ten championship game.
I got one question for Chris. Is there any team that you and when we get ready, and is there going to be any team in the playoffs that you would not want to see IU go up against?
There ain't no team I wouldn't want to see them to go against, but the two teams I would worry about most would be Ohio State and Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'll be honest, if you ask me that about Texas, the first thing out of my mouth would be Ohio, because Ohio is a very tough program. John Day is no joke over there.
See, we'll get to see Ohio State probably in the Big Ten championship game. So if we do end up playing them in the playoffs, we've already have seen them before.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, Alabama, Alabama's a team that I don't think anybody really wants wants to play right now, especially if their defense is on. When their defense shows up and is on, man, they're a tough team. So I'd put them right up there with Ohio State as the two teams I'd probably worry about the most.
And real quick, Chris, you brought up about the quarterback for IU. Everybody talks about that catch, and it's as good as catch. That end zone catch was as good as catches I've ever seen in college football. But also that throw. That dude, there's two guys in front of him with their hands up jumping and hit him. And he threw that ball. How he even got the damn ball off, I don't know. That was an incredible job by the quarterback, too. So I just wanted to get that out there because not two people mentioned about the quarterback, and he did do a tremendous job.
Well, he had his Heisman moment where had that big moment in the season that might give him a chance to win the Heisman, because he's been right up there. Yep. He's right. He's playing as well as any quarterback in college football.
Yeah.
And having a moment like that now in that drive, that can really propel him to maybe getting that Heisman.
Yeah, if he wins the Heisman, that could be the moment that got it for him. Yeah, that's quite possible. The next game I wanted to go to, guys, was number 9 Oregon against number 20 Iowa. Good game, man. Really good game. And the crazy thing about this. Last Thursday, Herb Street on McAfee's show made a prediction, and he predicted Iowa would win that game 16-15. Well, with about a minute left in the game, the score was Iowa 16 and Oregon 15. He was right on it. He said the weather was going to be nasty. I mean, he basically laid out how the game was going to go, and that's how the game went. And it was crazy.
It's going to be a dark, gloomy, nasty night in Iowa.
Yeah. I mean,
somehow the score we're going to be at 16-15, and we're not going to know how we got there. But it's Iowa football, so that's why I was like, he laid it out to a T. And then you know how the game started? The game starts off with a safety, like right at, so it's, like, what the hell is it? But that's how it is. That's how Iowa games are, especially when it gets in November and it gets cold.
Yep. And it was a big win for Oregon because they're not your normal Big Ten team. They just came into the Big Ten 2 or 3 years ago, and I think that was a big win for them to come in and play in that nasty weather. They're not used to playing in that nasty weather, that nasty climate, and so I think that was a big win for them. I was hoping Iowa would get the win. Unfortunately, I kind of like Iowa a little bit, but they just don't have enough offense. They've got one of the best defenses. Maybe the best defense in college football. Who knows? But they've got a really good defense. But Chris, your thoughts on the game, and then we'll go to Jay.
Yeah, if Iowa could just get a little consistency on offense, I mean, if they could just score 20 points a game,
yeah,
like, they're going to win. They're going to win most of their games because their defense is damn good. That was a crazy game to watch. But yeah, it was a fun game to watch. I always like watching Iowa games. I think it's always cool when they do the wave to the Children's Hospital, because them rooms at the Children's Hospital is right up against the college stadium. Them kids can look right down in the stadium. So I always think that's a cool thing that they always show at the Iowa home games. But yeah, Iowa's a tough place to go win. It's a good win for Oregon. They needed that because it seemed like a lot of the media and everybody was turning on them after they lost to IU, trying to act like they wasn't a good football team anymore. So that's a nice win for them in a tough environment.
And Oregon's got a couple tough games. They got, I think, 2 ranked teams left to play in the next 2 games. So, Jay?
Yeah, man. that was a very difficult game. You can tell. I mean, I wasn't there, but I could only imagine just by what the way they were describing it, how dreary that must have been. I always said anytime you go up north during wintertime, it gets ugly. You just don't. It just you just never know. But when I look at this game, neither one of them could get a passing game going, which obviously I think the weather was a big part of that, obviously. So it came down to really just who had the better run game. And that run game for Oregon really saved them. I think they had 261 yards on 36. That gave them roughly about 7.3 yards. So that just kind of tells me that Iowa just wasn't able to stop. It was just maybe who could stop the run better. And ultimately, it was Iowa that couldn't stop the run as much as the way Oregon was. It's just an ugly game. It's an ugly game where you're not going to have a lot of passing. It's going to be a lot of running, and Oregon just showed that they had the tougher team on the run.
Yeah, Oregon, and that's what people were wondering: was they going to be able to play that smash mouth football against Iowa? Because Iowa knocked IU off the ball some in that game, and Oregon knocked Iowa off their offensive line. Oregon's offensive line won them that game, in my opinion. They really did. Yeah. They really did. Okay, guys, I got one last game, and I wanted to talk about. It was number 8 Georgia Tech defeating number 7 BYU 29-7. Big win for Texas Tech. They possibly going to move up in the rankings. BYU, I would assume, will move out of the top 10. The big win for Texas Tech. I mean, they've had one loss that I believe it was to Arizona State. They didn't play real well. Texas Tech is a very good football team. They got a pretty good defense. They got a pretty good offense. They remind me a little bit of IU last year. They kind of remind me of that team. I don't know if they're built to go to the finals just like IU didn't last year. Maybe, but they're definitely on the right direction. And who knows? Maybe they are. I was really impressed with Texas Tech, and they handled BYU pretty easily. Jay, your thoughts?
Yeah, man. We talked about this we've talked about BYU before, and I told you I was like BYU's schedule really is not all that strong, and a lot of us have talked about like how does BYU get to number 7? And I said that if BYU wants to have any kind of credibility to where they're ranked at, then this win over Texas Tech was going to be one of those games. And they fought hard. I mean, both teams fought hard. It was only a couple of 7 points. 7 points compared to 28 from Texas Tech. It just kind of shows you where BYU is. And they'll stay in the rankings, but they're definitely gonna. I guarantee they're gonna stop. They're gonna fall out of the playoffs. How far Texas Tech goes, in the playoffs, I don't know, but I think they'll make the playoffs. I just don't know how far they're gonna go. But BYU, this was a must win for them, and they just couldn't get it done. And I think it just kind of puts them back to earth for who they really are.
Yeah, Chris, your thoughts on that game?
They've moved Texas Tech in the AP poll. They moved Texas Tech up to 8.
Okay,
well, that's what they were 8. They were 8 in the one college one.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the AP poll.
Okay.
I haven't seen the AP poll. No.
Okay.
The AP poll last week they were 9. They moved up one spot to 8.
Okay.
The college football CFP one will come out tonight.
I figure they'll move. I figure they'll move to 7 because that's where BYU was. So I figure they'll probably move to 7 in that pool. I would assume.
Oregon beat Iowa and moved back a spot in the AP poll.
That's bullshit.
They went from 6 to 7.
Well, that's the same thing though that happened to Texas. I forget who Texas played, but Texas got the win and they moved back. Sometimes that happens. So I think what got them moved back a spot was just how close that game was. I think they expected it to be a bigger margin of victory.
But to me, you got the number 9 team playing the number 20 team at the number 20 teams. If it had been in Oregon, I could see it. But being that you're on the road, I don't know that you should lose a spot. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and that's the problem, though, when you got people writing and voting for this, because it's a whole bunch of people's opinions, unfortunately. That's just the way it rolls.
But no, Texas Tech controlled that game. They got off to a quick start.
Yep.
And BYU was never able to get going offensively.
Okay, guys, I'm going to step out and let you guys finish up the show. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I'll see everybody tomorrow. I've got a engagement I got to go take care of. So everybody have a great day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I think that was really bad. Oh, the Nico Harrison. But are we talking about that tomorrow, though, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll save that one. We won't talk about that. I'll wait for Tony on that one. I don't know. Was there anything in the was there anything that really kind of stood out to you in the sports a lot that you wanted to talk about?
One thing I would mention real quick is if you don't watch the Pat McAfee show, go check his show out today.
Yes.
He done a show live from Paris Island. It's actually still on right now. It's getting ready to end. He had a lot of cool guests. Had the longest reigning Marine sergeant on there. And he was on there for probably
Ruiz.
He was on there. Yeah, he was on there for about 45 minutes talking. And then he also had President of the United States on there for a while. He had a lot of cool guests. Some of the Marines was out in the crowd. It was a cool show and cool thing that he done for veterans and for Veterans Day. So I recommend go checking that out.
Yeah, let's talk about this just for a second, because I took your advice. I subscribed to his YouTube today on Pat McAfee on YouTube, and so I've been watching it on YouTube today while I was getting ready, and it was amazing. First of all, mad salute to Pat McAfee, man. Mad salute, man. I appreciate you bringing attention to veterans. Paris Island is a very majestic place. It's right up there with Camp Pendleton, which is on the West Coast side. That's where they do the boot camp on the West Coast side. Yeah. But Paris Island, in my opinion, is just a little bit different animal than Pendleton, just because of the weather patterns and things that they have to go through there. It's incredible. But man, I loved it. Every time he did the hooyah, I love how he did that, man. He was so cool about it, I mean, it was just, and then we did, hey, President. I liked how he talked to the president. Hey, man, do you think you could just give us a hooyah? Like he said, like his it's like his best friend. I mean, this is a president of the United. Hey, yo, Prez. Hey, can you give us a little hooyah? Just give it. And Donald Trump was so cool, man. President Trump was so cool, man. He was like, yeah, I got you. And he did it. He had a really nice hooyah. Now, there was some people on the panels, hooyahs, Orlovsky, to name a few, Hawk, AJ Hawk. I felt like he could have, or not AJ Hawk. What's that dude's name? Matt, you know what I'm talking about. The football player, they had on there. Was it AJ?
AJ Hawk was on the show. He's always on the
that's
show.
what I was saying. AJ Hawk. My brain went left on me. But yeah, he kind of gave and I think he kind of knew it too. He's like, man, I don't want to disrespect them. I don't want to give this weak ass ooh-yah. But it was a good show, man. I like, the fact that he was even able to do that show in Paris Island before the Crucible and before graduation while they're doing their stuff. That has never been done before. Ever.
No, first show ever. It's first show to ever air live from there. And the setup was awesome with the statue right there.
Yeah.
Like it was. Yeah, I thought it was well done, and thought it was pretty cool.
And again,
I'm gonna watch the rest of it that I missed once we started doing our show. I'm gonna watch the rest of it here in a few. But yeah, it's a good show.
And I think it's fair to say and note honestly, mad respect and mad props to the Marine Corps and Command Sergeant Major Ruiz for allowing that to happen. They didn't have to, but I like the fact that they did it because it gives America a glimpse into the life of people that are going through boot camp to turn themselves into soldiers from civilians. If you don't know what that's like, it's 180 degrees different, and it's an experience that very few get to experience. But mad respect, man. Mad props to Pat McAfee. Mad respect to the Marine Corps. Mad respect to President Trump and all of those. And again, on the show I just want to say thank you again to all the veterans. that have served our great country. Because without you guys, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. So mad respect. Gonzo, you got anything else you want to part off? You guys got any shows coming up tonight?
No, got nothing going on tonight.
Well, all right. This is it for the afternoon show. Catch us tomorrow. We will talk more about Nico and his departure from the Dallas Mavericks, and what does it mean, and where do the Mavericks go from here now that their GM is no longer there. It's been your boy Jay McLovin, Gonzo, and Tony. Billy Buzz. I did want to give a shout out real quick to Billy Buzz. He says Yukon Huskies, and he also says hello. And then Frankie, obviously, Hunter Henry, Austin. Okay, yeah, I got it. And who else is that? Joe. Appreciate you, Joe, man. And yeah, anything else you got, Gonzo?
Nope.
All right, we are out of here, man. Y'all have a good rest of your afternoon.